Hello, English learners. And so we're back. Your ESL teacher, Teacher Ven, is back. And for our today's lesson or lecture, we are going to have this grammar practice. So let's try answering it, okay? Guys, are you ready? We're going to try answering this simple past or affirmative grammar exercise. Okay, let's try. Write the past simple of these regular verbs. So when you say regular verbs, usually you are just going to add ed and it becomes its past simple form, right? Okay, so let's try answering this. For this one, letter A, we have add. So what is the past simple form of these regular verb? Okay, let's try writing here. For add, it's added. Okay. Let's just try answering this one by one so we can practice. Okay, so for letter B, it's ask. Ask. So what's the simple past tense of ask? You just have to add ed, right? So it's ask. Okay. So for letter C, it's arrive. It's going to be arrived, right? We're just going to move it. We're just going to move everything. Okay. A little bit. There you go. And for our letter D, it's call. What's the simple past tense of the word call? I mean the verb call. It's called, right? Called with the, you just have to add ed again. Okay. So maybe we can try moving everything later, right? So for cry, it's cried, right? Cried. All right. Okay. Let's move on to our next one, which is dance. Simple past tense. Dance. We are just to add, again, it's just adding ed or d. So for dance, it's danced, right? Okay. Danced. All right. Perfect. And for our next word, it's decide. So it's going to be decided, right? Decided. All right. And for our letter H, it's enjoy. So it becomes enjoyed, right? Again, we just have to add ed. And enjoyed. All right. For letter I, it's finish. Simple past tense of finish. Finished. We are to add ed, right? Okay, let's move it a little bit. Okay, there you have it. And for our decided, let's move it a little bit. Okay. There you go. Perfect. For our dance, I want you guys to see it very, very clearly, and also the spelling for our beginners and elementary learners. Okay. Moving on to our next word, which is hate. Okay, so it becomes, we are to add D, right? Which is hated. Perfect. Very good. Okay, so let's move it here. Again, I want you to see the spelling. So let's make sure that you can see the spelling as well. Okay, for our letter K, live. So the simple past tense. Lived, right? Again, let's add letter D. Lived. All right, let's move it a little. Lived. Perfect. And for this one, like, again, we just have to add letter D, right? So it becomes like, liked. And letter M is play. So we are to add ED. Okay. Played. Let's move it a little so you can see the correct spelling. Okay, let's move it a little. There. And here, like, let's move it a little like that. Okay. Stop. Stop. What is the simple past tense of stop? Okay, for this one, it's going to be stop. It's double P, 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 E, and then D. Okay, let's move it a little. All right, very good. So for this one, it's try, try. So what is the simple past tense of try? This is an irregular verb, right? So it's not means that it changed the word's spelling. Okay, not to add ed, not to add d, but it changes the spelling. Okay, so let's try putting tried, right? Tried. Okay, tried. Okay, for this next exercise, write the past simple of these irregular verbs. Okay, so these are our irregular verbs. Let's see, how are we going to change this into their past simple tense? So for buy, it becomes bought. So yes, you have to notice with irregular verbs, the spelling changes a lot. Unlike with your regular verbs, it usually is you just have to add ed or letter D and that's it. But for irregular verbs, the spelling really changes, right? Okay, for our letter B, what is our past simple tense for come? It becomes came, right? And for do, see, do is we have the word did, right? Okay, let's move it. Let's move it. Uh-oh. Let's move it a little here. Up, up, up. There. And for our letter D, which is eat, 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 it becomes ate, right? Ate, ate. Yes, perfect. And for the word give, essence of give, gave, right? Gave. It's gave. Okay. And for our next word, which is go, go. Go is, it becomes went, right? Went. Okay, moving on to our next word is have. It becomes had, right? Had, had. Okay. And for our letter H, leave, leave. So it becomes, what is the past tense of leave? It becomes left, right? She left early, for example. She left early. Okay. So for our letter I, make. It becomes made. For example, the simple sentence, I made it. Okay. Let's put a space in here. I made it. I made it, right? I made it. For example, the word I made it. And for C, our letter J, we're here. C. Past tense is what? Saw, right? Saw. For example, let's write in here. Let's put here. I saw a mouse last night. Okay, right? So that's our example. For letter K, take. Past tense of take. Simple past is took. Took. So again, notice the spelling changes a lot, right? Unlike with our regular verbs, it's as simple as adding ed or d and it becomes your simple past tense. But with irregular verbs, technically it changes the spelling. It's not adding e or d, but it changes the spelling of your words, right? Of your verbs. Okay, so moving on to our next word, next verb is tell. Tell. So it becomes, can you get the right word? Yes, it's told, right? Perfect. It's told. Yes. And for our next one, it's think. Okay, so let's put an example here. Let's try writing a simple sentence here that uses the word or the verb told. I told you. I told you so, right? I told you so. As simple as that. Okay, for letter M, think, think. Our past tense is what do you think is the right answer? Can you guess? Think becomes thought, right? I thought. I think. I thought, right? Yes. Okay, so let's use it in a sentence. She thought, let's say, she thought the exam would be easy, right? She thought the exam would be easy. So that's it, right? We use the word thought in here. Thought. Okay. So our next word is our next verb, rather, is win. 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 So it becomes one, right? One. Okay, let's try using it in a sentence. She won the game. Let's not try to make it, let's just try to make it simple and short. She won the game. Let's not make it complicated, right? Okay, so let's just use the word she won, or let's use the verb won in a sentence. She won the game. And that's it, right? Okay, moving on to our next verb. Letter O is right. 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 Okay, so what is our simple past tense? It becomes written. Right. Perfect. Written. Okay, so can you think about using the word written in a sentence? Okay, let's try using the word written in a sentence. The story was written by him, right? As you can see, we use the word written in a simple sentence. The story was written by him. Okay? You can either put a period or not. Anyway, we're just using the verb in an example. Okay, so let's move on to our next. Let's try moving on our. Oh no no. Let's not try to move everything. Maybe we can just do it from here. Okay, we don't wanna drag everything and messed up with our exercise, with our answers. Okay, so for this third exercise, complete the sentences with the correct form of the verb in brackets. Again, complete the sentences with the correct form of the verb in brackets. Okay, let's analyze this, okay? Let's analyze this one by one and figure out how to answer these sentences or fill in the correct form of verb. Okay. So for letter A, I blank stay at home at the weekend because I was ill. Okay. So let's analyze it. There is the word was, right? Was, meaning yes, it's referring to something, an action word that happened or an action that happened in the past, right? So technically, we are talking here about past tense, right? Past tense. All right. So your stay becomes I stayed, right? I stayed. So we have here a regular verb, right? And what do we do if it's a regular verb? We just have to add ed or d, right? And it becomes its simple past form, right? Correct. I stayed at home at the weekend because I was ill. Okay. Moving on to our next sentence. Emma blank do her homework with her mom. So do is our word here. It becomes what? Past tense. Simple past. Did. Right. Did. Did. Right? So do is our irregular verb. Notice here in this example, our letter C, do becomes did, right? Because it's a irregular verb. Okay. Emma did her homework with her mom. Okay. Moving on to our next one. Letter C. The cat blank be hungry, so it eat very quickly. So we just have to fill in the blank, complete our sentences using the simple past form of our verbs, okay? So for be hungry, okay, the cat was hungry, right? The cat was. The cat was hungry, so it. What is the past tense of our simple past tense, simple past form for eat, the word eat? Can you find it here in our examples here? Right? For letter D, it's here. Eat becomes ate, right? So we can write here the verb ate, right? Let's try reading again. Let's read it again. The cat was hungry, so it ate very quickly. Correct. Okay. So let's move it. Let's move it a little. I always want you guys to see the spelling, not just the tenses form or the word, but also to be familiar, be very familiar with the correct spelling, right? It's so important. Okay. So moving on to our next sentence. Yesterday, my brother and I blank play video games after school. So the word yesterday means it did happen in the past, right? Yesterday. Okay, so again, what happens to our verb here? Our verb here is play, the word play. What is the simple past form? Okay, in here. Let's find it here. Letter M, it's here. Play is played, right? It becomes played. So we can write here the word played. Perfect. Okay, following. Let's read. Yesterday, my brother and I played video games after school. Sounds correct, right? Sounds right? Good. Okay, let's move on to our next sentence. My parents blank give me a bicycle for my birthday. Okay, our verb here is give, right? Give here. Give. So it becomes past tense. What is the past tense? Simple past tense. Okay. Give becomes gave, right? Gave. Let's move it. Gave. Okay. My parents gave me a bicycle for my birthday. Perfect, right? Okay. Now let's move on to our next one. We're halfway. We're halfway there. Okay. Let's move on to our next sentence. Letter F. All my friends blank come to my party. Okay. For come, what is the simple past form? Okay, it's here. Letter B in here. Come became. Come is came, right? Come becomes came. Okay. So we can write here the word or the verb came. All my friends came to my party. Very good. Okay, let's move on to our next sentence. Letter G. Dan blank have a cold, so he blank go to the doctor. Okay, have. For the word have or for the verb have, what can we use? Dan had. Had. Okay. Dan had a cold, so he go. For go, it becomes went, right? Went to the doctor. All right. Let's repeat. Dan had a cold, so he went to the doctor. Okay. Next one, for the letter H, let's read the baby blank. Our verb here is cry all night. Again, the baby blank cry all night. What is the simple past form of the word cry? In here, let's check here. In our exercise number 1, cry becomes cried, right? Let's try putting it here. Let's see. Oh, cried. Does this look correct? Let's see. Let's read. The baby cried all night. Perfect, right? Again, the baby cried all night. Sounds correct, right? Okay, moving on. Moving on to our next letter, to our next sentence or paragraph. Sentence. When I was younger, I blank like going to the circus. Again, when I was younger, I blank like going to the circus. Okay. What is the simple past tense, past form of like? Like. Do you see here in our previous exercise? Like, here in the letter L, like becomes liked. With the letter D, we only have to add D, right? Okay. Again, let's move it so you guys can see this perfectly, clearly, and the spelling. Okay. Again, let's repeat. When I was younger, I liked going to the circus. Okay, so maybe he meant when he was younger, he likes going to the circus, but now that he's older, he doesn't like going to the circus anymore, right? So that's the difference. Okay, for our next sentence, letter K, we blank leave home at 7 o'clock and we arrived at school at 8 o'clock. Okay, so our verb here is leave, the word or the verb leave, the action word leave, right? Is it here? Can you find it here in our examples here? Leave, the word leave. Is it here? Okay, let's just try to answer, right? Okay, we left. The correct form is left. The correct simple past form is left for the word or for the verb leave. We left home at 7 o'clock and we arrived at school at 8 o'clock. Okay, got it? Following? Okay, on to our next sentence. The teacher blank tell us to work in groups. Tell, the word tell. Okay, are we seeing it here? The word tell. Tell, here, I can see it here. Letter L. Tell becomes told. Okay, so let's try putting it here, the word told. Told. Okay, again, let's read. The teacher told us to work in groups. The teacher told us to work in groups. Correct, right? Okay. Now moving on to our last sentence. Okay, let's read letter M. Last night, I blank see a spider on my pillow. Again, last night, I blank see a spider on my pillow. What could be the correct past form of the word or the verb see? See? Okay, let's find it here. Okay, I'm seeing it. I can see it. Letter J here. See. It becomes saw. Right. We can write here the word saw or the verb saw for see, right? The simple past form. Okay. Maybe it's better if we drag it a little here so you can see it perfectly. Okay. Let's read it again. Last night I saw a spider on my pillow. All right. I got it. We got it, right? I got it correctly. Do you think? Did we get the correct word? Last night I saw a spider on my pillow. Okay. Do you have any more questions? Okay, so if you are following and if you did understand or if you want to do a review, just watch it again. Watch this simple grammar practice that we did. And again, thank you for watching. This has been your ESL teacher Ben, and please stick around for more lectures and lessons like this for young learners, for teenagers, for elementary to high school students. Okay. Thank you for watching. I shall see you next time.